Hi everyone, happy Friday. Welcome to Blocks and Frocks with me, Lisa Gibbons, and my colleague, Gillian Gotzel, author and journalist. Today we were supposed to have a guest, Gabby, but she can't make it, unfortunately. These things happen, especially in Web3 and crypto.
Okay.
So we're just going to have a quick chat about upcoming events and conferences that people in the world of Web3 should probably be aware of, and that myself and Jill are supporting. And yesterday I was at a conference, and there's a virtual metaverse conference on today. If anyone has some time, I think it starts in 3 hours time. Actually 4 hours. It starts at 3 p.m. Irish time, and it's the CoinMarketCap conference. And I would highly recommend anyone that's available or around on a Friday afternoon hanging about to jump in there and have a look at what's going on. Yesterday I spoke to Michael Saylor. Oh, sorry, I didn't speak to Michael Saylor. I watched Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy and CZ from Binance, and they just had a lot to say about what's going on. And it's as we're in build mode for the crypto industry, I think it's a great time to focus on education and learning from these leaders in the space. What do you think, Jill? You weren't at it yesterday.
Yeah, and I missed it. I was off site pretty much yesterday. But no, I think it's great. I mean, CZ has shown great leadership in the recent UST debacle. And I think that they're voted for a fork actually with the Luna. They're going to ditch, as we know, it's gone, UST. And they're going to come back with a Luna Mark II, if you like. And it's got Do Kwon has got the vote of the community to do that. But it's interesting to see that Binance will be backing it. So I think that it's good. I mean, I know there was so much heartbreak and very difficult because people lost a lot of money. And if you lost money, it's desperate. And apparently the Reddit threads were horrible. People threatening to take their lives based on because they've lost all their money. And it's frightening. But even if you look past that, it's interesting to see that the communities, there's a lot of people, there's a very active community, a lot of building. So someone like CZ coming in and backing it is a chance for people maybe to recoup some of the stuff that they've lost or to other projects keep on going. So it's kind of a roundabout way of saying that CZ and Michael Saylor are total leaders in this space. I had the good fortune to interview CZ in 2018. We just set up Binance, actually. I was able to get to him then. I haven't been able to get to him since. He's too important. But he's just, I like him. I just think he's a sound, steady hand on the tiller. You know, that if you want somebody that you want to, you know, he's not flashy. He's not actually, he was featured in NAS Daily recently. That was kind of fun too as well, but he's not flashy at all. And he's just a sound businessman. And I think it works well. And Michael Saylor I adore because he counters all the time, you know, obviously the crisis about energy being used by Bitcoin. And he points to things like, I mean, he's very outspoken as he points to things that Bitcoin miners are actually energy arbitrageurs. They're looking for the cheapest form of energy. They promote renewables, all that gas flares. They use any energy, whatever they can find, because the cheaper the energy, the more profit they make. So they actually are helping push barriers. But he always finishes off by saying, at what price to include the disenfranchised people of this world? And I'm going, there's a lot to be said for that. So yes, both great leaders. They're not flashy. They're not Elon Musk, you know, put your foot in, put your foot out again type stuff. They're just very, very sound people. And yeah, I'm sorry I missed. There's a replay.
And I have to reread your interview with CZ. That's interesting, Jill. I can't believe you interviewed him in 2018. So he was just starting out.
Yeah, he was a new boy in the block, you know, and he was very sweet. He even like I wrote it very quickly for some reason. I interviewed him and I wrote it up and I posted it all within like maybe 90 minutes. And he tweeted me back and he goes, "Great interview and so fast." So I was like, that video.
That goes back to our motto and GSD get stuff done. But the Michael Saylor interview yesterday was really interesting, Jill, because it really focused on regulation, and he's pushing for more regulation in the space. He wants it because he thinks without regulation it will stay as a $1 trillion industry worldwide. That's the cap he puts at it without it, and that's like 5% of worldwide wealth. So he's saying with regulation it will fly on its own. So I think he's pro regulation, but also he said a really interesting thing. He said in this time when it's like a world of chaos, when there's wars happening, when the markets are up and down and going all around the place, he was like, be the steady hand. So be predictable. So if you're a project in the blockchain space, or you're in the crypto space, or you're in the NFT or metaverse, whatever, do what you said you're going to do. Follow your roadmap, you know, kind of reach the milestones that you you were trying to reach, and show people that you're consistent over time. And I don't know about you, Jill, but I think we both agree that the projects that we see that are doing well, and the interviews that we do, the ones that are doing well, do have that consistency, don't they?
Yeah.
That nature, even in their teams, they're just like, okay, rolling out solid products, services, and there's nothing too kind of volatile about it, so that's what Michael Saylor was pointing to yesterday, that this is the time to be predictable, and that investors don't, investors will take the risks. They don't want the projects to take the risk.
Oh, that's a good point.
That is a good point. The investors are the risk takers, and they, and he's an investor himself. Or no, he said he wasn't an investor, actually. He said he was more the project, and he said we need steady hands, predictable. That's what we need for the blockchain space at the moment. So that was fascinating, and it's on again, as I said today. I'm doing a lot of plugging for CoinMarketCap, but yeah, it's on today at 3 p.m. Irish time, and it's in the metaverse, so it's very easy to jump in and out. And that's kind of what I was doing yesterday. But other events coming up, Jill, exciting events for us next week.
Yes, yeah, Blockchain Ireland week. So that's kind of cool because it was set up. It was first done. Was it the week? I think was it maybe 2 years before the pandemic, or so maybe it's the third or fourth year, and the first maybe. I can't remember, but this we're back in person again in real life, and I've heard someone was saying to me that something to me last night that the hotel there's room for like 200 people, but like 700 people are going to turn up. So I don't know whether they're hyping. I don't know, but I know there's a lot of people saying that is there enough room? Are there the spare tickets? And there's lots of the nice thing about Blockchain Ireland Week when you compare it to Paris Blockchain Week is well not compare, sorry that's unfair, but everything is free. So as long as you register in time, there's a lot of all the actual event is free. There's a lot of side events are free. A lot of functions and hospitality is free, and that's kind of nice because going to a conference, you take a couple of days off work, so that can be, especially if you are a builder, a Web3, or in gig economy, maybe you're not backed by a big company and maybe you're freelance. So it's nice to know that it's free and you're fed as well. Very nice. I always think it's very important. An army marches on its stomach. So you're on day 2?
I'm on day 2. I'm doing the metaverse panel on day 2. So that'll be interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. We've Aileen Carville, our friend from Skimp, virtual showrooms. And then we have a junior strategist from Microsoft. And Tommy from Token Tracks was supposed to be there, but he let me in. He's meeting some high-profile band on the Tuesday now instead, back in the UK. So he's going to have to fly back. But yeah, I'm a
high flyer, isn't he? Because he's
always high flying around. He's worked with everyone. I think he's worked with Beyonce, like the biggest of the biggest.
I think you name the famous person, he's worked with them. I think
amazing. But so it'll be fun, Jill, and we're going to the Algorand dinner on Monday evening, which I can't wait for. And the guys there are lovely, really sweet.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And also, here's the thing: we had a meeting recently. What is the best way to get most out of a conference? So if you're attending Blockchain Ireland or any conference, so I learned a new trick, a new idea from that meeting we attended, was to put your LinkedIn as your lock screen. Because you don't want to be, if you're meeting all these people don't use cards per se, and it's very hard, you don't have to open your phone and get after this, go into your LinkedIn, whatever, if LinkedIn is what you're going to use, whatever app you're going to use, have it on your lock screen. So you don't have to even open your phone, it's fast, boom.
Such a good idea.
That's very, because that's kind of nice too as well, because I often think if you collect, the old-fashioned way of collecting cards are useless because there's no pictures on them. So at least at LinkedIn you have a picture of the person, so you'll kind of and you'll see, oh, if that's the person who's blah blah blah. So that's a very clever idea when you've got a lot of people running around the place.
Very clever, and everyone has their phone charged these days. Either they have a charge or they're bringing their charger with them, so it's something that you'll have to hand all the time. And for networking as well, the other tip that our friends were saying were always attend the side events and the social events, because that's where the chat happens. That's where you can meet someone really important, or a project that you're interested in, or ask the questions in a kind of a friendlier environment. The conference itself, and conferences in general, can often be quite formal. You're sitting in the thing, there's not much room to network. So outside the conference and at the side events and the networking and the tea and coffee breaks, I think that's a very good tip as well. That's where you get the chat.
And someone else said too as well, it's quite funny because it kind of like it's counter the idea of a conference. I said, you've probably seen these big names already, on YouTube, ignore them, go off and do them. I thought, well, that's interesting. That's kind of because you normally kind of go to meet the people or just hear what they're saying. I suppose if they're going to dredge up the same stuff again, you may as well go off to the side event and hustle,
I think there's who said it to us for NFT NYC. Myself and Jill are gonna go, which we're delighted about. But someone said there's going to be 20,000 people
without
there, but they don't have tickets, but they're coming to the events around the conference. That would be fascinating. Really can't wait for that one, Jill.
That apparently is wild, absolutely wild. It's like a party. Everyone's high. Wouldn't mention that, of course, but it's like a party. It's not a conference at all. It is a party. So that's going to be wild.
And it makes sense because the world of NFTs is just bursting with creativity. And there's creators, there's creatives, there's artists, there's writers, there's movie stars, there's everyone you can imagine all bundled into the one space.
Times Square, New York.
Times Square. Yeah, so that's going to be that'll probably be a highlight of my year, attending that one.
I think so. Because we're just saying that in terms of conferences, like you went to a conference, you're not going to name it, and it was really boring. It was very like stayed, or you were giving off to me because I didn't go, and you're going, why did you send me to that one? And then most blockchain conferences are very interesting. They're much more interesting than your average fintech. I mean, fintech conferences are good. I mean, I've been to a lot of trade conferences over the years. It could be supply chain, whatever, right? Different things, and they're kind of interesting. But blockchain are much more interesting. But NFT conferences are wild. They're just, and the energy, it's all bzzz, it's mad. You're all exhausted. It's like, oh my God, it's like going to a festival, actually, more so than a conference, which is.
Yes, which is great, really, when you think about it like that. But speaking of festival then, Consensus is a big one happening in Austin, Texas on June 9th to 12th. And they're calling it the Decentralized Festival of the Year. And CoinDesk are the media sponsor for that one. I think they're organizing it, actually, CoinDesk. So that's an interesting one as well. It's a lot of the big names will be there. There's a lot of the projects, I think, will be there. The good projects underneath all of the ecosystems will all be there and all be showing their wares. And a lot of the investment community will probably be there as well. So I'm excited to learn about that one. Not going to it, but excited to learn what's happening on the ground.
As well? Is there a virtual?
I don't think so. No, all in person in real life. But the other one we are going to go. Sorry, go on.
I was saying my other big tip for conferences, and I had this genius idea. It's way too late, of course, to do it. You want this swag, right? And maybe you want to have nice swag. I mean, people spend a lot of money on their swag. I mean, why not to get sneakers with your logo on it?
I just don't know, Jim. It doesn't do it for me. I don't know.
Because I'm looking at sneakers. I want to buy a new pair to go to NFT NYC. I thought, they're all with the Lacoste or the Vans or whatever they are, the Converse. I thought, I'd love to have a logo on it that I was supporting.
But yeah, and I agree with you that you wear sneakers a lot, so it's a good place to put your branding, and obviously with Nike and them, they do it quite well. But the only thing is, I think you'd want to be one of the huge guys in the industry. You'd want to be the Consensus or the Coinbase or someone, because
I'd wear
the runners.
I would love to have loads of runners, and I go, what'll I wear today? I'll wear blah. I'll wear just little small companies. That'd be such fun.
Funny. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Headbands. I'd more go with headbands or something like that. But the other one is Zeebo Live, your friends in Zeebo. And
we're both at that again.
We're both at that, which would be
I'm next to Matt Hancock on the front page, and Stanny from Abbey. But yes, I thought that was a lot of fun last year. I had so much fun. I caught COVID at that last year.
Okay.
That's how much fun I had.
That's how much fun it was.
I was in I went to the after party, which was
And who will we meet at that one, Jill? Who should go to Zeebo Digital? It's on in London, isn't it?
London. So it's easy. So just hop over the channel. Because it's DeFi Live, so Zeebo Live. So DeFi will be huge. NFTs will be huge. It'll be the fun end of the industry, I think, as opposed to the big, the more industry, more enterprise solutions, I think. It's all about community too as well. I moderated a panel last year about community, and that was very interesting.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's kind of hoppy, and actually it's kind of fun. And they have like
Yeah.
wild cards and people come popping up and down, and yeah, it's very buzzy actually for a non a solo NFT conference. It's very buzzy, and actually I must confess that the team at Zebu Live, they're brilliant, and they're really fun, and they're nice, and they're not they're very can do. They just do stuff, and it makes it translates into a very fun conference, and they treat you very well because last year you'll get this because you're a speaker this year as well, but last year they had a really nice dinner for all the speakers, so that was nice because you get to meet people, and then also they had lots of after parties. It's always nice to have after parties. Oh, you're back. It's okay. I just stopped talking. I said how all the after parties are very good at Zebu Live, where I got COVID. But yeah, I can't blame
Brilliant.
Zebu Live for that. I think it was in my club.
Yeah. The team are great there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting all them. Like you introduced me to one of them, but we were running around the place. Like everyone was running around in circles at the Crypto AM Awards last year. So yeah, looking forward to that one a lot. So that's our events recap. And I suppose hopefully we'll have Gabby on again another time, try to reschedule her, and we look forward to our next Blocks and Frocks.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Let's have a great weekend, Lisa, and everybody who's watching. Have a lovely time. Be safe, be good in crypto world and Web3, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.